Let's go. Let's go. Welcome to another race analysis with Newtype Cycling. I'm your host, Jared. That dude ended up being okay. That was a crash at the end of the Cat 3-4 race. Dude ended up eating a cone. He ended up walking it off, shaking it off. Bike looked okay. That's just a tough crash right there. They were going pretty quick around that corner. Jumping right into the action, we're coming to the first lap right here. Just got done racing the Cat 4-5 race before this and going off the front a couple different times, trying to make an attack stick. And I'm feeling pretty tired. So I'm going to see how far I can hang on with this one and see what we can put together. Most of the time I'm going to be surfing in the back, trying to conserve my energy, just hang on. But right from the gun, you can definitely tell the pace of this race is going to be a lot quicker. If you look up in the upper left-hand corner here, you've already see we've got 4 guys off the front. First lap, they've already got a gap on us, so these fools weren't playing around. They wanted to get the pace up, make moves early, and see if anything would stick. You'll notice a lot of these guys in this video, if you watch our previous one, also did the Cat 4-5 race. So there's, out of the 25 of us, there's probably at least 6 or 7 that did the race before. So we're just trying to get some experience, level up a little bit, and increase that fitness. A couple of heavy hitters here that we knew about. Obviously, these guys off the front, I believe there's a Texas Roadhouse Cat, and if you see very far left right there, there's a guy up there bridging. That's Cody from a Preferred Parking coming out of Charlotte. I ride with him all the time in various little training rides and group rides. Dude is a diesel tank. So seeing him up there trying to bridge this gap early in the race doesn't surprise me one bit. And as you can tell, I'm just tail gunning off the back. I'm just going to see if they're willing to, ramp the pace up and bridge up to Cody and close the gap down, and also attempt to close down the gap with the guys in the break. They don't. The pace kind of stays pretty consistent right here. It almost lets up a little bit. And so Cody ends up bridging in the Preferred Parking kit. And so the total break up front is going to be 5 riders. Jumping ahead in the action right here. About 8 minutes in. The pace started getting a little surgy. Those guys attacked with the first or second lap. And so we're a little bit into the race now, and everyone's just still thinking about up front, what are we going to do? How are we going to go after these guys? What's the plan? And no one could really figure it out. I just bump out 600 watts right here a couple different times, and it's the communication. You can tell guys want to go, but there's just not enough cooperation to make anything happen. And then now, look up in the front of the field right here, up to the left, you can't even see these guys anymore. So they've got a substantial gap, and that thing's gonna hold its own throughout the race. We're not gonna reel them in. But meanwhile, I'm just in the back, surfing wheels. My heart rate feels pretty good right here. I was feeling pretty good, so I had these first couple laps and minutes of the race. It really helped me recover from my previous ride earlier in the night, and so I was feeling pretty good. Obviously, my fitness was a little fatigued. The watts I was wanting to put out later in this race aren't really there, but it's good practice. And anytime you can get back-to-back races on a weeknight to get some skills, get comfortable on the bike. Boom, there's another good surge right there. We always a little surgy coming out of that corner because the front riders get such a clean line, and then if you're in the back like I am, you got to take it maybe a little slower. You got to weave through some traffic a little bit more, and so you're always punching it out of that corner. But I mean, we're up to 32 miles an hour. We're cooking right here, and the field's getting a little strung out. Jumping ahead a little bit further in the action. If you look in the back cam, some guys start looking to their left. And everyone's, throughout the race right here, everyone's just looking for those lead riders, that group of 5. More guys up here, they start looking to their left as well. And so everyone's, right here, hard right, that guy's looking to his left. They're just concerned about where the break is. Are they going to lap us? If and when it's going to happen. And so, again, it's all back to, organization and these front riders wanting to push the pace to, for one, we don't want to get lapped, and try and reel them back in if we can. But we're 14 minutes in the race. It's a 45-minute crip. I mean, at this point, there's plenty of time to reel them in, but are people willing to cooperate and do that? I find myself throughout this race moving forwards and backwards a bunch of different times, kind of just seeing how I feel. I don't want to do too much this early in the race. I definitely want to try and survive this thing. But sometimes you get a little excited and you want to get up in the front, get up on the point for a little while, and put in your effort as well. I don't want to hang out in the back the entire time and just not do a pull. That's not going to help me at all with strategy, with fitness, with being able to maintain my threshold and stuff like that. So it really helps every now and then to get up closer to the front. That way you're not getting as much of an aero advantage, and you're working a little bit, showing people you're willing to work. We're going to jump ahead a little bit further. This is 25 minutes into the race now. That lead break is fairly close to swarming us up, scooping us up a little bit. And so there's a little bit of a lull right here when people start looking over and they're notice how far or how close that group is to catching us. And so when everyone lets up, I'm feeling pretty good. And so I just decide, all right, well, let's see where I'm at. Second race of the night. Let's see what I can do. So I take a dig right here. And then check rear cam. I've got this unknown Sunbelt, I believe it's a junior rider, coming with me on this little attack right here. And that rider up front is one of the riders that was previously in the break, and he got dropped. I believe it's a Lee McRae Bobcat collegiate team, if I'm saying that right. We end up scooping him up. We've got a bit of a gap right here. Yeah, you can see our footage right there. Yeah, we were all feeling pretty good. I know this Bobcat, he's been up in the front for a while, and so I'm sure he's a little cooked. But he ramps up the pace for us a little bit. We're going 31, which is pretty good. Gives me a little elbow flick, rotate through. I do my best to pull my weight on this 3-man, attack right here. Obviously, you just look at my watts. It slowly fades down through, and I don't want to blow up just yet. So I just try and do a nice, consistent pull the best I can, and try and help these guys out. We're going up pretty quick up this hill right here, 24 miles an hour, so we maintain our distance. But through this left-hander right here on the previous lap, we went through it at 27, and now we're only going 24. So we should have hit this just a little harder, but I can't complain too much. Here later in this section, I don't really pull my weight as much as I should. Mainly just fitness right here, giving a struggle. Bobcat's looking behind him. Sunbelt's looking behind him. I let a gap open up right here. Just trying to hang on, trying to do what I can, pumping as many watts as possible, and without trying to blow up. And I reel them back in. We're slowing down a fuzz. But come back through to my turn. I try to maintain 400 watts. I'm looking down at my power meter occasionally, and it's just not happening. And in the meantime, all the Peloton is coming up behind us, and they catch us pretty quick. And why do they catch us really quick? Is because they got lapped. Cody, with preferred parking and the 4-man brake, they end up coming through the Peloton. Here they come up on my right, and they just ramp the pace up. And so, of course, you know, when they've got going or coming up through the field like that and they want to maintain the pace, you know, they caught us super quick on that break. And so I'm floating back through the field. I let a gap open up right here. I should have been a little bit more conscious. Too big of a gap for me. Guys behind me are over it. They're going around me. I'm getting some encouragement by some other riders to keep it together. But I'm trying to bring it back down a little bit so I can recover. But those guys in the front, the leaders that ended up lapping us, did such a good job at keeping the pace high the whole time and really making everyone else work, especially us riders that are doing already done a race. My heart rate's not too bad right now, but you know, you can clearly tell that I can't put out the watts I need to up this hill to maintain position, to stay on wheels. I just fall straight to the back. But it was super fun. This track's really cool. It's all concrete with the slight incline at the start-finish line. It's a great spot for a field sprint and to practice those safe sprints. Yeah, I'm literally on the back of this group, like trying my damnedest to stay on a wheel right here and like close this gap. Luckily, right here before this left-hander, they let up just a little bit. But I should have put in a couple more watts to really close it down, and just didn't really have it in me. This is where I get dropped, and into the race for me. I try one more little desperate dig, but it doesn't work. But live and learn. Next time I'll probably sit in a little bit longer. May not do an attack. I'll try to be a little bit more focused and disciplined on some of my strategies, but man, it's super fun when you go out there and you get a couple guys to go with you on a little attack, even if it's not for first, even if it's, you're back in the field trying to close something down or whatever. It is super fun when those guys work with you and get going. So appreciate everybody for watching. We'll have a couple more videos coming out. A lot more crit. Want to thank the organizer for putting this thing on. Check us out on Instagram at Newtype Cycling. Give us a follow. We'll be putting all of our race analysis and different ride photos on there. Hope you guys enjoy. Take it easy.
Mission.